Eyewitness News 4 at 6.
Be bold, be courageous. The nation's counting on you. Thank you.
It's been more than 6 years since former U.S. Congresswoman from Arizona, Gabby Giffords, began her journey into fighting for tougher gun control. And that's after she survived getting shot in the head. Today, her journey led her to our roundhouse in Santa Fe. And Colton Schoen was there as Giffords urged New Mexicans to change gun laws here in our state.
Former Arizona Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords was shot in the head at a Congress Under Corner event in Tucson, Arizona 6 years ago. It was a mass shooting that killed several people. I covered the aftermath. I even lived in Tucson, working there as a reporter, and I can tell you that event definitely changed southern Arizona. Well, she is in Santa Fe today to make sure that gun violence doesn't happen here.
Stopping gun violence takes courage. The courage to do what's right. The courage and new ideas. I've seen great courage when my life was on the line. Now is the time to come together.
January 8th, 2011, the parking lot of a Tucson Safeway became the scene of unimaginable horror. Among the several people killed were a little girl and a federal judge. Former Congresswoman Giffords lie bleeding from a shot to the head, wounded with several others, all at the hands of a mentally ill man. Since then, she's been on a crusade to prevent gun violence, launching the group Americans for Responsible Solutions. That campaign now launching here in New Mexico.
But in 2015, 405 people were shot and killed in New Mexico. That is way too high.
The New Mexico Coalition for Common Sense wants to push 2 bills through to the governor's desk. They would prohibit domestic abusers from having a firearm and close loopholes and require background checks when buying a firearm.
Be responsible. Democrats, Republicans, everyone. We must never stop fighting. Fight, fight, fight.
The National Rifle Association sent us this statement regarding Giffords' visit. More gun control laws will cost New Mexicans time, money, and freedom and do nothing to make them safer. These bills are intrusive, ineffective, and unenforceable, which is why all 33 county sheriffs oppose them, along with law-abiding gun owners. Now, the organization hopes that the legislation they're pushing does go through, and they're hoping that it becomes law. Reporting at the Roundhouse, I'm Colton Schoen, KOB Eyewitness News 4.
As some New Mexico lawmakers try to tighten gun laws, Congress recently loosened one. Just last week, the U.S. Senate voted to roll back an Obama administration rule that would prevent about 75,000 people with mental disorders from being able to buy guns. The Obama administration implemented that rule right after the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting that killed 20 children and 6 adults. The rollback already passed the U.S. House, so now it goes to President Trump, and he is expected to sign it. The family of an Albuquerque man murdered in his own driveway didn't hold back when his teenage shooter was sentenced today.
I've had 607 nights to ponder this question. What does a family do that raises a monster, a psychopath, a sociopath?
Jeremiah King admitted to pulling the trigger, and a judge sentenced him to 25 years in prison. King and 5 other teens were mobbing homes in Stephen Garrick's neighborhood back in 2015, and police say he was killed when he approached them. Well, King also spoke in court.
I can't do much but say sorry. I could prove it by doing good while I'm in prison, or I could prove it by truly feeling sorry for myself, because I feel that no matter what, I'll always be a monster, a thief, a liar, a murderer.
I was hoping for 49 years. 25 is long enough for me to be dead before it gets out, so I'm happy with that. I don't want to be alive when he would be able to get out of prison.
King must serve at least 85% of that 25-year sentence. Police say he is the armed carjacker who caused an officer-involved shooting earlier this month near I-25 in San Mateo. And he has a list of past charges like assault and burglary. We've even told you about him before. And that's why state attorneys fought to hold Lee Brandenburg with no bond until trial. Our Kasha Grigorchik was in the courtroom today. And Kasha, what happened?
Well, Tessa, there's a number of factors that went into the judge's decision today, but the good news is it looks like Brandenburg won't be going anywhere, at least for a while. Lee Brandenburg appeared in court Wednesday as state attorneys argued a judge should hold him without bond after he was recently charged in a violent carjacking. It turns out Brandenburg has already been sentenced to 615 days in the Department of Corrections for an entirely separate case involving battery and disorderly conduct. He may only have to serve 50%, but that still puts him away for at least 10 months or so. In two other separate cases, Judge Cindy Leos pointed out he's already been given $75,000 and $50,000 bonds.
Why do you feel we need to deal with this at this point, given that he is deposed approximately, and I'm not good at math, $125,000 on those two cases, plus a 615-day sentence at DOC. Why do you feel like we have to deal with this right now?
Still, the state wants that no bond hold in place just in case.
The defendant has shown himself to be a danger to the community. The state is very concerned with that. He has shown a pattern of harassing particular individuals as well as the use of a firearm, which is very concerning.
The defense asked for more time before the judge makes a decision, and their request was granted.
So the matter of imposing a no bond hold on Brandenburg's most recent charges will be heard again this Friday. We'll keep you posted. Back to you.
Okay, Kasha, thank you. New tonight at 6. After years in the dark, people living in an historic Santa Fe neighborhood say the lack of streetlights along Narrow Canyon Road is a recipe for disaster. Our Caleb James is live along that dark road. And Caleb, it sounds like a lot of muggings recently has inspired City Council to do something.
Yeah, Tessa, and I'll tell you about that proposed solution here in just a few moments. But first, let me show you around Canyon Road, give you an idea of this problem. This road is lined by cool sculptures, sculpture galleries, art galleries, exclusive restaurants. In fact, there's a little valet area here, managed to squeeze in on this very, very narrow, very winding, old Spanish-style road. Looks pretty dark, doesn't it, with people walking down the side of it right here in the dark. That is because there are very few street lights on this road, just 3 behind me, 1 in the opposite direction. We're in a little bit of a black hole here, and there are very few street lights. Lots of tourists, not a great combo. Over the holidays, the Merchants Association had to hire security themselves to keep this area safe after a string of 3 muggings.
The muggings kind of brought it all to a head, and because it was dark, and they would do it after the galleries closed, so there weren't a lot of people. Even during Halloween, we have to make sure that the kids come while it's light, because once it becomes dark, you can't see the children's.
Now that's Bonnie French with the Merchants Association here on Canyon Road, and after a lot of work, City Councilor Joseph Maestas, we're told, he's revived a project to get streetlights installed along Canyon Road here, and according to our partners at the Santa Fe New Mexican, the proposal would include about $160,000 of design work and $810,000 to install those lights. So altogether, $1 million project, and just even in the past couple of minutes here while we've been under video, it's gotten even darker here. Gives you an even better example of the danger. The Merchants Association, of course, says it is needed to keep people safe, but it still has to clear the City Council. We're live in Santa Fe tonight. I'm Caleb James, KOB, Eyewitness News 4.
Thank you, Caleb. It has been a windy day across much of the state with reports of very light showers in the northern mountains, but a lot of it not reaching the ground just because it's still very dry at the surface. So we have the high winds. They're going to pick up over the next day or so. High wind watches for the eastern plains, gusts of 60 miles an hour possible, 45-mile-an-hour gusts expected tomorrow for areas in southwestern New Mexico, while much of the state will be dealing with fire danger throughout Thursday. We'll talk about that concern along with what's ahead for the next 7 days in just a few minutes. Tessa?
Thank you, Jorge. Bad water has been a bad problem for people in the Four Corners for 9 months now. And while state agencies haven't forced the water company responsible to clean up its act, Devin Neely explains there is one more possible option for all of those frustrated folks.
This is our only choice. This is all we have. If we want potable water, this is the only thing we're going to be able to do.
It seems that the people who have been plagued with water problems are now the only ones that can fix it.
I don't like it, but okay, we'll buckle down and fix the old crappy system.
500 residents from the Harvest Gold subdivision have waited.
It's been hell.
And waited.
I worry about the amount of time it's going to take.
With all the problems water provider Animas Valley Water has had, the last option, it seems, is these people taking the system over.
We are being forced basically to form a domestic water users association and inherit a very defunct water system.
Essentially, the residents can form their own utility to run and regulate water distribution from help from the New Mexico Environment Department. It also seems that there is funding available, both emergency to hook up to Bloomfield Water and funding for badly needed infrastructure repairs.
This is a big step forward to me.
Realistically, it will still take time to get the organization set up. Then construction can start on an interconnect, leaving residents living what seems to be the new normal.
It consumes no less than 2 to 3 hours a day of my time just to boil water for my dogs, to wash my hands in occasionally, or wash dishes with. And it's just been immensely stressful, immensely time-consuming, and very bad for the community as a whole.
In San Juan County, Devin Neely, KOB Eyewitness News 4.
New Mexico continually ranks near the bottom for education nationally, and 2 local moms wanted something better. They wanted something different for their kids, so they created their own school. Morgan Aguilar shows us what's unique about Chinook Spirit Children's Academy.
I'm going to make an orca. Students here learn differently.
So how many little men do you have?
It's just doing, cobra pose and downward dog and all this stuff. I'm like, what is that?
2 educators and moms founded Chinook Spirit Children's Academy in 2012. It's a nonprofit open to children of any faith.
We didn't want a direct textbook approach, and sometimes the other extreme of that is a little too free. We wanted a balance. And
part of that balance includes small classes, personalized instruction based on the skill level of each child, and daily meditation.
It seems to be a trend in research right now that it increases students' ability to self-regulate or get calm. It increases their compassion and empathy.
Right now, the school has 23 students from kindergarten all the way up to 8th grade.
The students take a field trip once a week and come up with a service project to help our community once a month.
We teach the kids that we care for ourselves, and then we have the energy to care for others.
2, 4, 6, 8. Mari Spinelli says she looked at APS and charter schools, but found what she wanted here.
I love that they incorporate consciousness and kindness into their curriculum. I'm like, oh my God, we found our school.
Parents and educators can learn more about their teaching methods this weekend. Everyone is invited to catch the Chinook Spirit at 1 o'clock on Saturday. You'll find registration info at KOB.com under 4 links. Morgan Aguilar, KOB Eyewitness News 4.
Still ahead here at 6, it is a place no driver wants their vehicle to end up. But why is there no solution to local stolen car graveyards?